In this video, I'm going to talk about whether the Georgian language is difficult to learn or not. Lots of people ask me whether Georgian language is difficult or complicated when they found out that I have been learning the language for more than 8 years. And in this video, I'm going to kind of talk about that a little bit more in detail. Just starting from my conclusion, I would say that learning Georgian language is yes, hard, and at the same time, no, it's not. The reasons behind this is that first of all, I'm going to talk about why I think that it's hard. First of all, Georgian has its own a certain amount of sounds that Georgian language has are not really famous, not really common to the majority of people who learn so-called like big languages, right? For example, English or the so-called like UN languages, English, Spanish, French, Russian, Chinese, Mandarin, Arabic, etc., etc. Of course, the amount of the speakers and also the amount of learners of those languages is much more than Georgian. And Georgian language has a certain amount of specific sounds, such as ejective sounds like ch, etc., etc. And also, as for the grammatical rules, as for the grammars, it has, for example, ergative case, like Chemma, Zmam, Gaketa, or Isabla. My brother studied, or he did, or something, which is used only in the not only in the past tense, but in several conditions, but mostly used in the past tense, ergative case. This is something that is not really common for other languages and language learners and language speakers. And also, the second reason why I think that the language is difficult is that the amount of learners and speakers of the language, of course, compared to English, the speaker of Georgian language is much less than that. And obviously, the Georgian language learners like me, it's like not really many, not really a lot, right? I don't think there are like a lot of people who learn this language. And also, followingly, the amount of teachers and language lecturers who teach Georgian language is also not that many, right? So, and obviously, the amount of the materials and textbooks which we can use as foreigners, as expats which we can use to learn the Georgian language is obviously not really enough. YouTube became quite common to use when we want to learn a certain language, right? But when it comes to Georgian, there are not really enough amount of materials that we can that are available to watch and enjoy and watch and learn at the same time the Georgian language. So this is like obviously one of the reasons, the factors that makes Georgian language objectively speaking difficult to learn. And also the amount of the opportunities and chances or occasions that we can use, like as foreigners, we can use the Georgian language, it's very few, right? If you visit or if you have been to Georgia or if you live in Georgia, maybe you realize that a lot of Georgian people speak English or other languages. And also, if you, for example, study in a university into DC, Georgia, or if you work in Georgia, obviously the common language will be English, right? Because it takes years to bring the Georgian language level to the professional and the working level. So obviously, a lot of experts that I know use English to study something or to work with Georgian people. And also, when we want to use Georgian language, a lot of Georgian people are not really ready. It seems like they're not really ready to have like a deep conversation in Georgian. For like a daily conversation, like a light conversation, they can do that in Georgian. But when it comes to talking about more sophisticated and kind of deeper topics, like in works, they kind of change to English. That kind of is the factor that we lose enough amount of opportunities and occasions that where we can use and practice Georgian language. So compared to other languages, right? So these are the reasons that I think that the learning Georgian and acquiring Georgian is hard. But at the same time, having said that, at the same time, I believe that Georgian is not difficult. It's not difficult because, first of all, Georgian language has only 33 letters compared to, for example, English. How many letters do we have? I don't remember, but not that many. But compared to, for example, Japanese, which is my mother tongue, we have like hiragana, katakana, which has like each hiragana and katakana has like 48 letters, and then we have kanji, the Chinese characters, the Japanese characters, which we adopted from Chinese characters. So considering that, learning Georgian alphabets is much easier. And also the amount of vowels that the Georgian language has, it's only 5 vowels, R, A, E, O, U, and that's it. Compared to English, English has more amount of vowels, and if you've learned French, for example, you kind of realize how complicated the vowel system is in French. And also, what makes Georgian kind of simple, easy, is the writing system. I mean, writing system and reading system. We can read as it's written. So, for example, in English, for example, right? Restaurant, the spelling restaurant, right? But it's spelled so weird, right? And also, like I know this no, K-N-O-W, but this K is not pronounced. It's silent. But this kind of phenomenon is not seen in Georgian. We can read as it's written. It makes it very simple. This is the several factors that I think makes Georgian kind of not really hard to learn. And also from the linguistic perspective, since my specialty is linguistics, linguistically speaking, there's all of the languages are equal, and all of the languages have its own their own specifics, and also kind of uniqueness. So there's like no the most difficult language in the world and no the simplest language in the world or something. That we see each language equally as it is. And I think the definition of difficult is also kind of controversial, I would say. For example, for English speakers, maybe you've seen some kind of a chart which the US government published like lots of years ago, the difficult to learn languages ratings or something. And for English speakers, for example, French, Spanish, German, these languages are relatively easy to learn. And Japanese, Chinese, Mandarin, Arabic and Russian relatively are relatively difficult to learn those languages. But for Japanese speaker like me, they say for Japanese people it's easy to learn Chinese because we share to a certain degree. For example, like Chinese characters and Japanese characters are very similar because Japanese language kind of adopted and learned from Chinese characters, right? So it's kind of not that hard, complicated for Japanese people to learn Chinese or Hangul, Korean. So the difficulty of each language actually depends on the language that you speak. Linguistically speaking, it's called language transfer. The first language that we have that we speak actually gives a lot of influence on the process of learning the second language. And also, having said that, for example, for me, learning Chinese Mandarin is very hard. It's been like more than 2 years that I started to learn Chinese Mandarin, but I cannot really speak it fluently. It took me around 1 year to be able to have a decent normal conversation in Georgian and teach Japanese in Georgian, like only 1 year. As for Russian, 1.5 years or something. But as for Chinese, they say for Japanese people it's easy to learn Chinese, but for me it's very hard. And I know a lot of other Japanese people who speak very good like fluent Chinese, but don't really speak English, for example. So this difficulty, the definition of difficulty varies among people. For some people, this language can be very easy, but for some other people, so other layers of people, that language can be very easy, right? So that is the reason in daily conversation when Georgian people or other people ask me whether Georgian language is difficult, I would say yes. But because I don't want to kind of complicate the conversation. But from the bottom of my heart, having said that, Georgian language is, yes, it's very difficult, but at the same time, it's not difficult compared to other languages that I'm learning. So yeah, depends on the, there's always the individual difference between them in the process of learning anything, including languages. So that is my question, my answer to the question whether Georgian language is difficult or simple. Yes, it is difficult, but at the same time, it's not. So yeah, but what do you guys think? Are there any languages that you've learned you found difficult or easy? Or if you are learning Georgian, how is it? Is it like hell difficult or like very easy? Or just please share with me your comments. And today that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. またね。